Arizona heads into number 3 Oregon's Autzen Stadium this coming week, coming off an impressive, if not expected, victory against South Carolina State. In our game recap, we put in a poll. 39% of you said you were impressed and you were confident that Arizona can compete this week going into Autzen. 37% of you said no, beating up on a MEAC team in South Carolina State wasn't going to be very telling in how Arizona will play against the Ducks, and then another 24% of you said that you weren't really sure either way. But if you want to give Arizona one advantage going into this weekend, it'd have to be the obvious, their schedule compared to Oregon's. Oregon has played Arkansas State, Fresno State, then this past week beat up on Tennessee Tech, while Arizona obviously has a little bit stronger of schedule. Toledo was no pushover, although Arizona was expected to win that. That was a solid win, at least from the win column standpoint of it. Then, of course, the number 18 Oklahoma State Cowboys came into Tucson and lost. And then this past week, Arizona did what it should have done to the Bulldogs. But then you look at Oregon. They've obviously put up the points as usual, as expected, but they haven't really gotten a lot of run out of their players, their starters, that Chip Kelly has actually pulled and began putting in the scrubs late in games. And teams have scored on Oregon. That might be a little deceiving because he's been playing the second and third stringers, Kelly has. But does that come to Arizona's advantage? You don't really see the stats matching up from that. You can't really convert those to a real Pac-12 conference game. But you do take into account that Oregon hasn't played 3 full games with their starters to get reps for the defense practice tackling, even though as elementary as that sounds, it does come into play. In the past few years, USC, with their sanctions, have had limited practicing as far as how much you hit, and that's shown on the field to kind of alter how they look. And obviously this week they didn't look like they were tackling all that well, and although that was much to do with Stanford being a good team, Oregon is looking at kind of that same thing on defense, and then again on offense, the lack of reps could come back to hurt them, where Arizona's first teams have played the significant amount of games, even against South Carolina State. Matt Scott was out there until the fourth quarter began. So it'll be interesting to see if anything, the Arizona Wildcats will have that advantage of having a lot of playing time, togetherness, while Oregon still might be looking to find how to play a full game with their first stringers.